Hey, it's Pete,
And Brian.
and this is Dream Warriors episode 50. This is Brian's first time. He's a little nervous.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
No, because we're usually doing YouTube stuff.
So just audio is weird for me.
Yeah. Well, look, let's hit the music, and we're going to get to it because we're really just going to discuss anything but movies, comics, and television for episode 50.
Because I don't know anything about that stuff.
No, but you know to drink to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just hit the music. Do podcasting so much.
When I have done them.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I've done a
podcasting
few.
every day. You have.
I've done a few.
What's the old guys in the basement?
Nerdarchy.
Nerdarchy.
Yeah, the old guys in the basement.
It's like the creepiest.
Dude,
it's the creepiest.
It is really creepy, and it smells like a basement.
Wait,
it smells like 10 cats live there, and I think there's only 2.
No, it smells like 10 cats live there, and they have lizards.
Like the cats own lizards.
Right. Yeah, the cats have the lizards.
Yeah.
It's like creepy.
And they're not really taking care of them at all.
Yeah. And what's it called? What's it called again?
Nerdarchy.
Nerdarchy.
Yeah, they have quite a few. They have a pretty big following.
Yeah. I don't know.
Good for those guys. I mean, they paid for a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, Brian may not survive this episode. He got lured into this.
They're like, "Can I take your keys?" I'm like, "No, please don't take my keys."
Like,
are you sure? I can take your keys for you. I don't want you to take my keys.
Like you go to take a pee, and like you look out the window.
I didn't dare.
And your car's not there. She's like, "What happened to my?" Oh no!
I didn't dare.
Oh no!
I went to the basement and then went out the door. That was the extent of it. I was like, I'm out of here.
Look,
I am terrified.
So we're sitting down. We're talking with Brian Meyer, the founder of Black Slither Games, my co-host, my compadre, cohort for YouTube Bad Eats, which I've talked about that in detail on here, like between our other conversations, especially when I'm having like rendering mishaps. So
there's always a lot of rendering mishaps with
yeah. Well, I
Eats.
tell you something. Like there's been times where I went to sleep for Bad Eats and woke up like 5 hours after, and it was done rendering, and I'm like, okay, like, cause I kind of like was set my timer, and something went wrong. And kind of like at that point
in the middle of it,
like having or like sound comes in too low, and or sometimes I've rendered the wrong timeline, like not too long ago, and the timeline took like 8 hours, and it was like the wrong thread. That I'm like, oh my god, like it sucks, man.
There's
like,
also days where, or weeks where there's days I don't talk to you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, sorry, I was doing Bad Eats.
Yeah.
What were you doing to it? We shot it a week ago.
Yeah. What are you doing, man?
Like, you don't know. I'm like, you're right, I don't. I come, I shoot, I leave.
Yeah. And
I go home and sleep, and Pete is up till 3, 4 in the morning.
Well,
rendering everything.
And it's also having, because Brian and I just sat down, we just talked for like a good hour on, critiquing Bad Eats, the future of Bad Eats, what some of the content strategies are, and all these other things. But one, I just told him this, but I guess I'm just retelling it, is that it's so difficult sometimes knowing like where you have to go and realizing like where you are, and getting like that frustration when you're like I need to do computer confetti. Like, I need to figure that out now. because I'm not going to have time to do it properly. Like, if I don't do this in this window, it's not going to get done. But you know it needs to get done. Like, you know, like we did a stretch where it's very common, but we have, like, pop-ups. Like, if we're talking about, like, something on the packaging for Bad Eats, and it says, like, keep frozen, like, usually that's accompanied by a graphic from that packaging. Like, that's the hardest thing sometimes. Is knowing that, like, something has to be there and it's not, and there's no time to learn how to do it. And I'm telling you, like, that's why it's heartbreaking when things render and they render, like, in the wrong way. And sometimes it's just like clerical mistakes on my end. Like, something's not checked, something's like a box is left empty, and I go to publish it and it's like a disaster.
You just need to get somebody else to do it.
Yeah, I know. And the worst thing is that person, I will have to waste more time teaching that person, showing them, standing over their shoulder. It's a whole thing.
Can't we get an intern or something? Give them intern credits.
Yeah.
You'll get college credits for this.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, Brian was nice enough too. We're drinking 2 PBR pounders.
Yeah.
And look, Brian gets so happy. You get so happy when you look at a beer. You're like, I kind of want us to go to the boiler room tonight. I would be so for that.
That's the place where we got the pictures.
And I'm sick. Well, no, that's where
I was sick last time we went there.
That's where we got the PBR and the Jameson shots.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, the pictures are from the Rap Shack.
Oh, yes, the Rap Shack. I was really sick when we went there. Yeah, and we got 2 pictures of
Long Island.
Long Islands.
Yeah.
So it works out to be like a pitcher each, but we didn't drink it that way.
No.
Which would have been really bad.
Yeah. Well,
we'll have 2 pitchers and 2 straws.
Yeah. Well, I know people that do that there. that do that there. So here's the funny thing. One of my female friends, one of the ones, like, we hung out a few times and did whatever, and kind of like a couple months went by, and I randomly saw her in Center City, and we kind of like reconnected, and she's like, well, I'm leaving
right there on the street. You reconnected?
Yeah. We had a moment. But
were people looking?
Yeah. No, they were it's Philly. They're used to it.
Nobody sees anything.
Yeah, they're just like, this is Philly, man. Welcome
it's about as common as a weave on the ground.
Well, yeah, welcome to Philadelphia. But yeah, and so she ended up, like, moving out of the city. She had this whole thing, like this, and we kind of had like a week. It was like, all right, like, let's just make this week count. Like, let's just have fun this week, and that's it, and wave Philly goodbye. So, yeah, we met back up in like a day or so, and she was telling me about when she met me at the Rap Shack. Mm-hmm. Because I told her to meet me there, and she was actually one of the few girls that actually knew where that place was and what it was. And she goes, yeah, she goes, I walked in, and you had like a whole picture of Long Island, and you poured me a glass and you gave it to me, and she was like, so, like, I had no idea, but she was like so, like, disgusted by that, to where it's like, what's this guy trying to do? Like, and I'm like,
you're just being polite.
Yeah, and I'm like, it doesn't mean, like, I guess she took it as like, hey, like, I'm gonna get this girl drunk. And I'm like, it's a $20 pitcher of Long Island. I was like, who says you even got to drink it all? It's a $20 pitcher. Like, it's a $20 pitcher. You're going to order it.
Yeah.
Like, you should order it.
They want you to order it.
Yeah. I'm like,
that's why it's $20.
And it was just, like, so funny how, like, you do something, like, and it's almost like just out of, like, generosity, out of the habit.
Yeah.
Or just practice, and how someone else can just twist that into like something like mean and like cynical and like devious, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, that's like
just
the first, like, anytime I go to the bar with like new people or something, like I walk up, I'm like, hey, what's everybody drinking? Like, I'll get the first round. Like, they're like looking at me like, what's this guy trying to do? Like, what's he pulling? I'm like, no, it's just
this guy's trying to get in my pants.
Yeah, he's trying to get all the girls drunk, and trying to
is it like
show them up. I'm like, no, it's just politeness. Like I'll grab the first round. Like, you guys get the rest.
Like, is it when you're like, oh, I'll get the first round, and someone like, I ain't sucking your dick, Brian. I ain't doing it. I'm not sucking it.
I mean, it's only you, but you end up doing it anyway.
Yeah,
in the end.
I don't even need to be drunk for that.
No, duh.
Okay, so
That's why I got you the pounder.
hey yo. So I ran into two friends of mine, like a day ago, right outside the building I work in. Two guys I haven't seen in a while, and they were like, "Hey, what are you up to?" And I said, "Oh, I'm like, well, same old stuff, but like, I've been single for 2 years. I'm juggling, like, always juggling girls, trying to find the one, trying to get hitched." And then I'm like, well, I'm still like freelancing. I got up here, so I point to like the building. Like I got, I'm still doing stuff for these guys. And then I said, well, I'm always doing my podcast now, and I'm doing my YouTube show. And these guys follow me on Instagram, and they're like, "You have a podcast? You have a YouTube show?" And all of a sudden, they're like totally like they just wanted to know like everything. And they're like, "What's a YouTube show about?"
It's funny when you say that, like people really like their eyes light up and they get real into it. Like, what is it? Tell me about it.
Yeah.
What do you do?
And that's what I'm getting at. How would you describe what we do on YouTube? Like, what's your elevator pitch for it?
The elevator pitch is the same thing we say all the time. Is we eat this stuff so you don't have to.
Right.
Yeah.
But
that's.
Yeah, I say it's I kind of go in a little bit more. I say it's a food review show done our way, with like a comedic element. That that I say, or sometimes I'll say it's food awareness. Like we're pointing out how disgusting this food is in our way, in a very unique way, because I do think we have something that is. It's hard to put your finger on it, right? Like,
yeah, it's entertaining and informative, and we laugh a lot.
I know,
like a lot. I mean,
I cut out, and I feel bad whenever I cut out our laughing, because like it's so real and genuine sometimes.
Well, I'll just go on for 10 minutes, and you'll just let me laugh.
Just because I love it.
I'm like you said, it is genuine, and like watching it is you see the enjoyment we have doing it.
The American sipping spoon. That's all you got to know about. I have to release that. I have to do a cut of that.
Just do the
That's
sipping
so
spoon sipping spoon episode.
Yeah, sipping spoon skit. That's too good.
The American sipping spoon. You just dropped it in my glass.
And then we did the African sipping spoon.
Oh,
Right,
the Canadian.
Which was the fork.
The fork.
That's so good. And didn't you send me a picture, like a week later, of chopsticks?
Yeah.
And you're
the
like
Japanese
the
sipping
Japanese chopsticks.
Yeah, I was eating something. I was at ramen, I think, and I had chopsticks in my hand. I was like, oh, I gotta send this to Pete.
Japanese sipping spoon. This is maybe the most meta inside episode ever for baddies. I would say maybe outside episode 1, where and not baddies. I mean Dream Warriors. I'm getting mixed up here. Yeah, so.
He doesn't know where he is.
I have no idea. Well, I've been documenting this on the show. Like I'm still sick. Like I'm not like you can vouch because you've been around me enough to like I don't really get sick. I get like a cold and I quarantine myself because I don't want to infect other people, and I'm very anal and protective about that. And I don't want to like get worse from anything. Like I get weird. I'm kind of weird with that and like germs when you're sick type of thing. Okay, but I've been like kind of like dealing with this since Saturday, and it came out of nowhere. Like it hit me like midday Saturday, which is weird when you're like you're conscious and you get something as opposed to waking up and you're like I gotta call out today. But it's totally different when you're kind of like watching a movie, and at the time I was waiting to see this one girl. We ended up canceling because we had like that monsoon rain like on Saturday, but it's like the funniest thing where like you're just doing something and you just like boof. It's like a switch hits and you're like oh my god. But no, I'm still fighting this cold, and we're still like rocking and rolling. We're still doing stuff. Yeah, I said Brian's coming over for Dream Warriors episode 50, and it's just going to be a totally different episode, which I love, which cracks me up.
Nothing about movies.
Nothing. No.
I haven't been to a movie in a long time.
Do you?
Because you were talking about doing the podcast, and I'm like, holy shit, I haven't seen anything in a while.
It's okay. Hey, it's okay. But you and I
rewatched Harry Potter on DVD.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what I've done.
Oh man, why would you do that?
Well, I read the first book finally, and I was like, oh, I want to watch the movie.
The Chamber of Secrets.
And see what's different. No, that's Sorcerer's Stone.
The Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah, Chamber of Secrets is the second one.
Not the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Chamber. They're both like they're all the same.
It's funny to see how young they are in the
Yeah.
first movie. And like they immediately age, like it looks like they aged 10 years in the second movie.
Yeah, and then it's
only a year away.
But then like between like I think like 3 and 4, like by between 3 and 4 you'd be just the fourth one they were like just adults. Mm-hmm. They're just like adults.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh,
it's like they're in the pub drinking their butter beer, getting hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like immediately like, where did this happen?
Do you remember our first movie that we saw? I have a loose idea what it was. I think I'm right.
We went to or we watched the movie together.
Well, we went to the movies.
We went to the movies.
We went to the theater to see a new release.
Oh, we saw Transform. No, not Transform. G.I. Joe.
We did see. Okay, I was gonna say Kick-Ass.
Did we? Yeah, we did say Kick-Ass.
Yeah,
together.
I remember seeing that, and that might have been the last time I was at that Washington Township Theater.
Yeah,
that might have been. But
we saw G.I. Joe at that was Cherry Hill. That was at the Lowe's.
Yeah. So one thing I kind of alluded to this a few times, but you are one of the people to witness and to be a part of that run. So part of that run is like G.I. Joe, Iron Man 2, Transformers 2. We were essentially. I think you showed up for 1 and 2 of those. I think maybe G.I. Joe. Like we were tailgating movies.
Yeah, we tailgated G.I. Joe. I don't remember that movie. Yeah. I know it was bad, and we had poor seats.
Yeah, we did.
Because this was the days before.
Getting. No, we were like, and we were split. I think we had people in the front and people in the back. And then, do you remember Chris falling asleep on that girl? He was so drunk he fell asleep on the one girl, Joy.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was like putting moves on her.
Yeah.
In the theater.
While he was asleep.
Like grabbing her. Boobs.
Yeah, because me and Sarah were way down in the front to the right.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was before assigned seating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you just had to go and get your seat, and we were hammered.
Yeah, we didn't care.
Oh, we were just so drunk.
So we did this for like maybe like 2 summers, and
I think that was the only one I tailgated with you guys.
Was that the only? Yeah, because
I think so.
There were ones where we actually had like a good crowd of people, and we all like, dude, like again, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen was like a rock concert, and we went in, we were like we were just so lit up, we didn't even care. Like we just started.
You just ruined the movie for a lot of people.
Like, I'm sure like our smell alone. Like, just the odor, like, people just getting buzzed off of my breath. Okay. Dude, there were times where Chris and I would do that, and then we would smuggle in more beers. And there was one time where we smuggled in so many beers that we weren't stacking them right, and we kept knocking them to the people like that were in front of us, and they kept rolling and hitting people's feet. And
that reminds me of a story. Go on, I'll tell you.
But during like the movie, like you just kept hearing that. And there was one time where we were drinking port. We were drinking port during Romeo and Juliet. And we each had a bottle of port. And port, at that time, I had no idea, but it messes you up.
Yeah.
Port is like a wine that will kill you. And, dude, he got so hammered that he started, like, yelling back at the movie screen. Like, as if he wanted them to stay together. But it's Romeo and Juliet, and he wanted them to be in love and he's, like yelling and talking to the screen. And I'm like, and then, like... and we had like that was like one of the only ones we left early on, but then we would get like rowdy. I remember like we were watching Yogi Bear, and we kept like somehow we kept getting trash, and we would get like boxes of like nachos out of the trash. Like this is while the movie's running. This is while the movie's running, and we would stack the boxes on like this level that was like right in front of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So we were stacking them so like they were part of the movie. So the movie was being projected on our trash, and we made the pile so high that I guess the projectionist saw it.
Uh-huh.
And then we're like this is how like wimpy some people are. So we're in there doing this, and the movie theater manager walks in with like a broom, and like starts knocking down what we did, and we're like, okay, now we're gonna get kicked out. We're gonna get nothing. She just did that and left, and we're like, what is this?
Well, people are so scared of bad reviews these
They're
days.
just afraid of like confrontation.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
did
like,
that too.
Yeah, I'm always like, look, this movie like is what it is. Anna Faris had like, she used to be hot, but then I remember that movie. She had like plastic surgery, and I'm like, I can't even look at her.
Oh, Anna Faris is still hot.
I don't know, man. She had like plastic surgery for Yogi Bear.
Really?
Her whole face changed. She lost that like cuteness.
Yeah.
Like it's like House Bunny, and then like
I loved House Bunny.
yeah, but then like Yogi Bear, you're like, yo, like it looks like she got stung by bees.
Oh.
Like her face. Like yeah, and I just remember like saying, well, I can't look at her. I don't mind being kicked out. Please kick us out.
But she's on that. I don't know if it's still on the television show she was on for a little bit.
Yeah, no,
like Moms or something.
No idea.
I don't know. But like she looked cute there still.
You're just a hornball. You're
Maybe.
You're like,
yeah. I'm like Anna Faris. I don't care what you look like.
The House Bunny's my favorite movie. I'm gonna watch that tonight.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I might watch it tonight.
Yeah. I may have it in my car. I watch it on my portable DVD player while I'm driving around.
I may have to take a trip to the.
But
I don't know. There's no movie stores around anymore. Never mind. I can't take a trip anywhere now.
My DVD player takes 5 double D batteries. My portable DVD player takes 5 double D batteries. I'm gonna walk around and watch it all the time.
All I do is watch House Bunny with the homeless. I sit down next to hey, you want to watch House Bunny? And they're like, no. I'm like, what else are you doing? Come on, man.
Even the homeless people are like, no.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, man. You're not having TV.
They're like, I got better things to do.
Yeah, he's like, I ain't
What?
watching House Bunny.
Like, I got to mow the lawn. You don't have a lawn.
I gotta survive.
You're just being an asshole now.
Yeah.
They give me $1 to leave.
Yeah, like get out of here, kid. Here's a PBR I picked out of the garbage.
Here, I'll buy you a slice of pizza if you leave.
It's 3 years past the expiration point. Here's a PBR. Get the hell out of here.
That can't be bad.
It's from 2002. The one I guess I get this question a lot. Yeah, just from the YouTube stuff and a lot of my Instagram, because I post you a lot on Instagram, is people always want to know. I don't know if you want to get into this. I think we should, because I think it's an awesome story, and I would love to have it documented.
I know where you're going with this.
People always want to know, how do I know Brian Motter?
And vice versa.
Yeah, and you know what I say? I say he's the best thing that came out of a psycho relationship.
Agreed.
And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Look," I was like,
"So when we get into it, do we discuss our falling out, or do we just leave that out?"
Well, no, like I was talking with someone about you, like on the side note, a couple of days ago, and I think it was someone that was like, I think she watched one of our episodes, like one of our baddies, and she kind of said something like about like she picked up on like I forget exactly what she said, dude, but it was like something on the lines of like you like sometimes we're paying attention and not paying attention. And I'm like, yeah, he might have had like a rough night. And I think I might have said like, oh, he might have had like the lovers might have been quarreled that night or something. And so we were kind of like having a discussion like on that stuff, like just just the relationship notes, like how you deal with that stuff in relationships. And I said, look, I said like, Brian, like him and I have like such like at this point a long history, but there was one time where I remember you you fell out of contact with me.
Yeah.
While you were still living in Jersey.
Yeah.
You didn't move to Texas, but you were still in Jersey. And I remember sending, like, there was one day I sent Kearns because I was commuting from Blackwood to Center City. And I was spending, like, with me going to the gym, I was kind of spending, like, 12 hours a day in Center City. And I just couldn't get, like, I wouldn't be able to drive to you in like, reasonable time. But I remember, like, one day. I might have did it twice in one day, where I sent Norm to your house to, like, look for you, and a few hours later I sent Kearns to look for you because I was like not like, again, like, you want to be proven wrong with some of this stuff, but I really was like, yo, it was like something happened with him because, like, you kind of fell off, like, so suddenly one time, and I forget what happened. Like, it was something, like, like, some stupid thing. But that's, like, a part of, like, our history, too, to where, like, I was so worried about you, I sent other people to your house that barely knew you at that time and sent them there, and I had them send me pictures that they were there and stuff like that. They were, like, at least knocking on your door.
I proved it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, like, a part of, like to set it up real quick. So, like, I never even thought that we had, like, a falling out. Like, to me, it was always like this, like,
well,
it was kind of like,
when I started Black Slither and I reached out to you.
Yeah, I was like,
you gave it to me good.
Yeah, I was just like,
dude, I sat there reading those messages like, I deserve this. I deserve every word of this.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been like one text message.
Yeah,
like one text message within. Like, what was it? Maybe like 3 months or.
It was longer than that.
Was it longer?
It
than
was
that?
long. It was almost a year, I think.
Maybe a year.
Yeah. It was just, I was cutting out pieces of my life that didn't belong anymore. And,
yeah,
and you happened to be fallout from that.
I was just connected to it. Yeah.
And I felt incredibly bad.
Hey, because Pete's one of the good guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pete's one of the good guys.
And like, in retrospect, yeah, I know that now.
Yeah.
And I can't go back in time and fix it. But it's like, but when we met up again after that, after you, like, ripped into me good, I was like, all right, we got to go clear the air and stuff. And we sat down, and it was like we had never stopped speaking to each other.
And that's
like, we picked up where we left off.
Yeah, and that's all it is. Like, look, I just bumped into someone couple days ago that I haven't looked in the eye or spoken to in maybe like 2.5 years, and this was a guy I knew through just being in Philly. Okay, guy I got, like, really close with, and him and I had, like, a really bad falling out, and I hate to say it, but it was, like, kind of like business related stuff. We like, he needed help. I helped him, and then it became like a payment type thing. And he kind of just acted like he didn't know what was happening. And I ran into him, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, come by the shop. I'll like I wanted to, like, and it was just one of those, like, pleasantries where it was kind of like he was pissing me, I was pissed at him, and it was just kind of like, all right, like now it's like we can kind of heal this, and sometimes, like, you're stronger when you come out of that, but I think it's like a guy thing.
Yeah, like,
I think you're kind of like, sometimes you don't know who the person is until you fight them.
Yeah,
which is a line from Matrix. It's a Matrix line.
That was a good line.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, you need that, like, stress, and you need that pain to kind of, like, share with someone. And I just think it's, like, kind of like bro code a little bit. Like, all right, like, who cares? Move on.
Yeah, and that's like, exactly what happened with us.
And that's all you gotta do.
And I was discussing that with Rachel, like, a couple days ago, because she always, like, we always talk about it, and she's like, how do you know Pete again? And, like, just kind of, like, forgets the story, and I think she just wants to hear it. And she wants me to dive more into it, but, like, I really don't. Well, like, I don't give her any more information than is already there.
Here's the funny thing. I think around the time that you and I first started hanging out, I think, like, you have a version of that, and I have a version of that. And I will tell you right now that I'm positive they're like opposite.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And
I don't even know how that happened, really. Like,
well,
how the two of us just started hanging out
okay.
without that other
without
pain in the ass.
I call you know what she is in my phone? She's X-Rex.
X-Rex. She has been for a while.
X-Rex. Yeah.
I think I remember that.
X-Rex.
Yeah, it was like it was kind of like just okay, we don't need her anymore. Like, we don't need her to bridge that gap between the two of us.
I think at that point, you and I, so like, this is so funny. I can't believe, like, I want to wish I'm, like, I want to say I'm making this up, like, or I'm exaggerating for dramatic effect, but she goes into a mental institution, right? And then moves to Arizona. And I'm trying to line up, because that was like such a quick thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then between that time, she was pregnant, she gave birth. And do you remember...
That's when she was living at my house.
Right. And do you remember, like, when we were at Iron Moto with Jack?
Yeah.
And she drops Jack?
Yes.
And they called the cops?
Yes.
And that one was like, I'm so done with this.
Someone called the cops.
I'm only here to, like, help you. You can't even, like, do any, like, you can't even do,
and then
anything.
She's arguing with the cops.
Yeah.
Like, all they want to do is make sure the kid's okay. They don't want to take the kid or anything. They just want to... All you got to do is say, he's okay, we're good to go.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Dude, I think no, because you know what happened? So, during that time...
I left.
Well, yeah, you were able to leave. I couldn't because I had to drive her back home to Palmyra.
Yeah.
So here's the funny thing. So yeah, like you're like, you're like,
I gotta go.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna go dig through them. I'm gonna go dig through some dumpsters because that's more productive than this crap. Okay. But no. So get this.
That pretty much sums up her life.
Yeah. So get this though. Get this. Okay. She deals with the cops. Okay. This whole time that she's talking to the cops, like the cop bangs on the window, and points to me and waves me outside, and he's like, "What's going on in there?" And I'm like, at this point, I kind of like, I like, because I've been through this with her, like, before, like, I'm, like, so, like, unnerved with the whole process. I'm like, look, she's friend. I was like, that ain't even my kid. I was like, you deal with it, okay? So, and at that point, like, the cop kind of knew, like, what the real situation was, which is kind of like this woman could be, like, unhinged. So, there was a female cop. So the two of them go in, and then, like, the male cop left. Okay? And I put this together later. So what the male cop did is the male cop called Dreyfus. Dreyfus.
Yeah.
Dreyfus. Yeah.
Not Richard Dreyfus.
The male cop calls Richard Dreyfus. So
he's like, there's a shark.
At this point, they had her address. So Dreyfus went to the house. Dreyfus.
Yeah.
I'm not
Richard
yeah,
Dreyfus.
now I'm just keep saying, let's just for the sake of
Richard Dreyfus goes to the house.
Let's just call it Dreyfus. Okay. So they go to the house. What now? Like, you know, the one who, like, that her parents live at, and all the other stuff. So they're doing all of that while she was doing all the stuff at Iron Moto.
Oh my god.
So by the time I dropped her off, her dad was like, yeah, like, Richard Dreyfus was already here. And he was, like, stacked. And I'm like, hey. And then at that point, I was able to pull a Brian.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Gotta go.
Gotta go.
I was like, I saw a dumpster on the way here.
I'm going to go dive through it.
I'm going to go dig through it. Go give me some Lucky Charms. And that was like the whole thing to where, like, what so you had the house. X-Rex was living at the house, pregnant with, and then the X-Rex's original child got moved to Arizona. A custody battle that her parents spent tens of thousands of dollars on. Oh my
god!
And she, within like a year.
Well, she was living in Ohio with her dad.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because like so much of this, like, I pieced together, which is like after and I don't know if she had her version, but like essentially, like I'm the one that like broke up with her.
Yeah.
Like I'm the one that was like, I'm done. Okay.
With good right.
Yeah. So within less than a year, she gave up custody to the kid that they fought for years for. That they, the father too was like a total loon.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm sure he's fine now.
Yeah.
But during that time, dude.
Actually, I've talked to him a couple of times, and he seemed pretty coherent.
He always seemed, and she painted the worst picture of him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's always like, oh.
Like I talked to him and laughed and had a good time.
I
And
know.
I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, you're actually a pretty good guy.
Yeah, it's so funny, like and then within 1 year, so she shoots me an email. Okay, that like at this point, like I'm kind of like working in Center City. Like within 1 year, I totally transformed my entire life. And
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, where that
what's the common denominator here?
Well,
that both of us transformed our life in that same year.
Yeah. Well, here there's actually like a reason for it. And this is something I went through myself, but even my most current breakup. So when it comes to like social equity, men in post like breakups and things like that, they commonly elevate. And the reason why they elevate is because they're kind of mostly in positions because they have to. Okay, and they're kind of like seeking more validation, and the ways you get that are kind of like, I don't know, contributing more to society, doing more, being more productive. Like you're more willing to take chances and do riskier things in those situations. And the reason why women don't do it is because women aren't really incentivized through like our social dynamics, meaning that like women are kind of wired to like find a guy. So they just find another guy, but the guy's the one that needs to elevate himself. And that's where like always like the guy's in like a higher place than the woman is in any type of situation like that. And it and usually when that doesn't happen, like there's other things, like there's other mechanics. But anyway, yeah, so I get an email from her like with an address. I remember, like, I couldn't find your house. I'm emailing her, looking for your house, walking up and down the street, and she's emailing me back. We're not even texting because she don't have a phone.
Yeah.
Or calling each other. She is, like, emailing me, and I'm like, this is nuts.
That sounds a lot like her.
Yeah, so at that point, like, and then she had, like, a boyfriend who was the father of the kid that was already in her belly. And this guy, I was told, was a
screenwriter
for M. Night Shyamalan, Llama.
Because he lives the closest.
And he worked at the production offices and hung out with all these people. And then whoever, his ex-girlfriend.
Did you read his screenplay, by the way?
No, I haven't.
After a couple of pages, I was like,
yeah.
What are you doing?
So, I had no idea he even had a screenplay. I just thought he had a story.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was told this like whole yarn that she like where are you on that? Do you think she believed this guy's story?
Oh God, yeah.
She 100% believed.
Oh yeah.
She wasn't.
No, because she told the same story to everybody.
Right.
Everybody had the same exact story that she told. So it wasn't like she was like fabricating the story and changing it every time like she told, but she told the same story.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that's the story that he told her, and I was like, okay.
Okay. So at this point, she also told me that his like ex-girlfriend was Cersei from Game of Thrones, who is actually like a lesbian.
Yeah.
Doesn't date men. So she tells me like all of this stuff. And then like I just remember like we were kind of like touch and go back then. And to me, like most of like what I was doing and like in my mind at the point was like helping her, because she was so like broken and desolate.
And that's desperate. That's what I thought I was doing too.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and like I remember like she didn't have a cell phone. I bought her. I had her like kind of like a burner, like a Virgin. Like you could buy those out of like
the vending machine.
Yeah, you could buy them from like 7-Eleven and stuff like that. And I got her that, and I'm like, hey, like, use this to get a job, like, and she was never like level headed even on that level, like, or on like on that like part to where she could just be like, hey, I just need to do this one thing now. I need to work. Let me just like find a job. She couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
So, and then like at that point, like I guess before she knew she was pregnant, like I was like, hey, I was like, like let me like let's just go out, like let's just get your mind off of things, and she was still like, still beautiful. So I'm like, all right, like I'll hang out with a beautiful girl now. But it was always like, and I guess this is me being like nefarious. This is like kind of me like just seeking validation and knowing that I made the correct decision. That like we really never had a future together. Because like I think we were together for like a solid 5 years. Okay, so like I was kind of like,
see, I didn't know you then.
Right. Yeah. So at that point, I'm like, all right, like I definitely made the right decision. Like this girl, and I was like, even if we were like together longer, I don't think we would have like lasted, because she is like she was a different person, which is really weird from my perspective, because she had none of those traits. Like, only when she dealt with the baby's father. Mm-hmm. She had none of those traits otherwise. And then she's away from me for a year, and she's completely off the handle. Like, I'm talking like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, it was like that. Like sometimes she was really sweet and nice, and then there was other times where you just I dreaded going home. I'm like, I don't want to fucking go.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
Like,
you don't want to go home to
I don't want to go to my own house because I don't know what's.
And she was like on welfare.
Happen.
She was like on welfare.
Yeah.
And she would be like, oh, I got my they restocked my card. Like, I don't care. Let's just go. Like, we'll go to Target or Walmart, get anything you want.
Yeah.
Just like, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah. and yet she was living at my house for free.
Mm-hmm. Like, really weird. And then, like, I guess at that point...
you don't even know that story. Go on.
Oh, no, jump in.
Jump in? You sure?
Yeah.
So when I moved to Texas...
Okay.
I still had my house in Jersey.
Right. I think I know some of this. Like, she was squatting there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and she squatted there until the utilities were turned off.
Right.
Like, she just racked up all these bills, didn't pay anything, and I'm getting these, like, I wasn't living there, and none of my bills got forwarded somehow. Like, they were just, because I was like, okay, like, I'll just call the electric company every once in a while and check to see how much I owe. Like, it wasn't, like, it shouldn't be that much. Like, I'm not leaving any lights on, and it's only...
Here's my $15 electric.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was like, okay, the realtor is coming in to show the house, and that was about it. I didn't know she was squatting there.
So you had people there to see the house.
Yeah,
you didn't know she was there.
I didn't know she was there.
Wow.
And someone mentioned something about the girl picking up the mail one time to me, and I'm like, wait, what girl? And then I leave Texas, and I come back to my house to a $400 water bill.
What?
Yeah. And, like, nothing is on. There's no electric. There's no water. This is April. Yeah, it was April when I came back. Wow. So it's still cold in Jersey in April.
So how'd she get, like, does she have keys? How'd she get in?
She had a key.
She had a key.
Yeah, because she had a key when she was living there.
Right, of course.
And I was like, I took everything when I left. There was nothing there.
Wow.
Like, I'm like, what was she doing? She was like, just, I don't know.
Do you think she must have been living there with someone too, right?
Dude,
how come one person?
The trash can was full, like in the side of the house. Like there was like everything was used up.
Wow.
Like everything. There was no water left in the toilet or anything, because it was like the last flush, and it was like, okay, I'm done.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, holy shit. Like there's no oil left in the heat in the tank for the heater, so I don't have heat. I left the thermostat on like 50 just so the pipes won't freeze.
Right.
she was cranking that shit up, and like I had $300-$400 electric bill. Yeah.
Wow.
So I come back. I leave my job and where I'm living at in Texas and come back to these gigantic bills.
Yeah.
And like I'm like, okay, I have a place. Like I have a roof over my head, but I don't have anything in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like that was, and at that point, I guess I was completely, like, I was kind of like already off doing my own thing at that point.
Yeah.
Like kind of like my experiment was over.
Mm-hmm.
So the funny thing though is that, like, so you go to Texas, you come back, and then like I guess like it's a combined 1 year, where like I guess some people like would see you or run into you and they were like, hey, like, I saw Brian or Brian posted this, and I were like, oh, I don't have any idea.
Yeah,
like I tried reaching out to him like so many times, whatever. Like Brian was exercising the demons, but during that time, like that's when you got into MMA.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of came back into Jersey, and you're like, time to do some MMA. I think I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
So you did that. You had like 2 fights, right?
Three
fights.
Yeah.
3 fights.
Yeah. That was a while down the road. I did the fights.
I don't know, because I think we were back in contact for one of, like, it might have been like the third one then.
No, you knew. I think. No, you knew about all 3 of them.
Oh, I don't think I knew.
Yeah, because I didn't fight until like I was back from Texas for a while.
I don't know. I don't remember. Like I really.
Yeah, time frames are really weird.
Yeah.
To me.
I don't know. I remember, like, I think you. I think you.
Because it took me a while.
I think you might have had 2 fights, and you were going into the third one.
Maybe.
Because I remember saying, I don't know, like, you gotta get back to 500. Like, just knock this dude out and choke him out, and then choke out someone else, and then you got like a 2-2 record. I'm pretty sure, like it's kind of coming back. I'm almost positive.
Maybe like, or maybe the second fight. I don't know. Because I didn't fight. Like I said, I didn't fight until I was. Let's see. Was it? Yeah, it was like 3. I think 3 years ago, or no, it's like maybe 5 years ago.
Now you just drink PBRs and fight the homeless people outside.
So yeah, I don't know. Time frames are all messed up for me, but yeah.
Yeah. So once that person, like, I guess like it took her moving to Arizona to get her out of like both, because I remember like she was in Arizona and we would, like, like I would just like reach out to her during the holidays and check in, and something she didn't like something I said one time, and she called me vapid, and I'm like, okay, we're done. Like, and that was it.
You didn't ask her if she knew what that word meant.
I haven't. Well, in her journey, she also like started going to school.
Oh.
She like started going to school, and she would text me. Yeah. Like these like paragraphs.
Oh yeah. She said she was going to law school.
Of like all of this stuff, and I'm almost like too much to read. Okay, and I'm just kind of like, this is nuts. Like no, like you're just mentally unstable. Like the world, like the world doesn't honor like just the way you communicate and the way how you like deal with thought and constructive like criticism and like complex ideas. She really kind of, but somehow she got like into school. Somehow that got paid, and she got into school. I don't know. I don't think she ever graduated though.
Probably
I'm
not.
positive she didn't graduate. But she's like, sorry, I think she was going to like Rutgers, right, or Temple or something.
Around here?
Yeah, she was going.
Not when she was living at my house.
No, this is like, I'm not, and that's where it gets hazy for me, because I remember you were doing like, you would do parties, and I think one of the jokes I had to myself was every time you did something, I wanted to show up with like a different girl.
Yeah.
And I kind of did that, and I remember like you were hanging out. I was hanging out with that one stripper, Courtney. I think her name was Courtney, and you and I went out to, because we do a lot with MMA.
Yeah.
Like Brian and I have a long history with mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Just like
we watch it and
we get hyped, we like it, we go back and forth. Yeah. And I think we went out to like the one bar that was near you that had like the moose outside, or
Taylor's.
Taylor's.
Yeah.
So we go to Taylor's, and I remember knowing the bartender. There's this girl Jen there with Jubilees, and I was like, crap, because I was there with the stripper, and you were with us, and we were there to watch the pay-per-view, and I remember like you talking to the stripper about like Delaware minor league baseball teams. Like you guys were talking about all, and she goes to the bath, and she goes, and you guys are talking about,
Dude,
like,
I talk about crazy shit.
Yeah, you're talking about like music and all that stuff, and she goes to the bathroom, and I remember you like saying to her, like, you're like, hey man, like, I'm sorry, like, as if like you're like taking all, and
Yeah,
I'm like, no, I was like, don't worry about it, man. Like, she is so annoying. Like, she's so annoying. I'm like, you got like,
well, I'll talk about anything with
yeah,
anybody.
you were just like, you're like, I can talk about this.
Well, I probably wasn't hanging out with anybody else. Like,
Yeah, I don't
know.
know.
I was probably like, I would go to work and then come home,
You're like,
and that was it. Like,
Delaware minor league baseball.
like I'll talk about it. Like, any human contact I can get.
Yeah, but she was like giving you like the stripper talk too, where
Yeah.
like it was like she knew just enough.
Yeah,
to like read your arm.
Yeah, just to make me go even further.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah.
And I'm just like,
I don't have any ones on me, hon. I'm sorry, I can't.
I was like, I don't even care. But that was like, and yeah, so that was like my little thing. But so we went like, so I guess maybe at that point she, like, X-Rex was going to school full time, living back at home. That had the kid, right? Because I'm almost like, a year must have went by, because I'm almost positive the kid was like a kid. The kid went from being dropped, like, out of the carriage or whatever at Iramoto into, like, being, like, a
He
kid.
didn't cry or anything. Well, he had a huge head. He had a big
No,
landing.
No,
area.
he didn't cry. He just broke, just broke off his legs. He was probably in shock. That was that was like such a weird thing. So at that point, yeah, when you and I reconnected, it was all like your trading card, not trading card, but strategic
card game. Yeah, card battler.
Yeah, like you were doing that. I was like, I think I was living in Philly. By that point.
Yeah.
Like you came into the city a couple times. We talked like stuff with Black Slither. Didn't realize we had like a mutual friend, Mike.
Yeah.
Until like I showed up at Mike's house. I'm like, Mike, like no, like,
oh, that was great.
Like we walk up and he opens the door and he's like, Pete, and you're like, what? And I'm like, what up, motherfucker?
Yeah, we go to Mike's house to watch a UFC fight,
and
I'm like, I'm the whole week I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring my friend Pete, and he was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, we're gonna go to my friend Mike's house, and you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And not knowing, you're like, hey,
Yeah.
is it this guy went, is it Conway? You're like,
I had no idea. Yeah,
and you're like,
dude,
you didn't even ask, like what's Mike's last name? And you're
I
like,
know, dude. I'll tell you one thing.
it was so funny.
Even if you told me his last name, then
you wouldn't have known.
I didn't know his last name that night when I saw him.
Oh,
I didn't even know.
Oh.
I just so much of that stuff is so far out of my mind.
yeah.
Now,
was so
I
funny.
know him as Mike Conway, but
Yeah.
this might be like the first time since like '97 since I knew him as Mike Conway.
Yeah.
Like I like some people have like triggers and things like that and systems, but my triggers, my systems, I don't retain that info.
That was just so funny. I show up with you, and he was like, Pete?
Yeah, like everyone knows Pete.
Yeah, it was.
Suck my dick.
It was just like a high school happened again. It's just like right there in Mike's house.
Yeah, right. Don't ignore me.
It high school happened.
What?
We're like, shit, we gotta get to class. Like, no, dude, we're watching the fight. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, right.
I'm drunk. I can't get to class.
What pay-per-view was that?
That was a John Jones fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, real quick, can we talk about this weekend?
Yeah.
So, who were you? Like, you said you wanted to bring him over. Who were your, like, him, Rachel, and you said like other people?
Oh, I don't know if anybody else would come.
Well, if it's just him,
Yeah.
me, and I don't want to say like not other people, but if it's kind of like a limited group,
Yeah.
like
I mean, I could just do like him and Rachel. That'd be fine.
I think we should. Yeah, let's just do it here then.
All right.
If he's okay, if he'd rather be at home, because he's got
he's
got
cool.
dogs and
No.
like kids and
No.
like something. And
Yeah. I'll run up.
What about the thing? He doesn't have like a woman he lives with.
Yeah, she's at work.
What's that thing? Okay.
Yeah, it's the wife.
They're married?
They're married, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Married. I don't
they got
know.
married.
I don't know. I just remember.
Yeah, because he's going to do the Connor fight. Like, he's like, I'm getting that fight. I was like, okay.
Okay.
I was like, cool.
I just remember like someone, because we did 2 fights at his place.
Yeah.
And the second one was way better because we bought Little Caesars.
Yeah, we did have Little Caesars. Yeah.
Dude, if you guys...
Well, we had what you call it? The Wild Wings, because your mom gave you a gift card.
Yeah, we had the gift card.
We
from
had
like,
a shit ton of wings. We had so much food from Buffalo Wild Wings.
I think we ate it all,
I think
too.
so.
We were just like, yeah. But no, and...
there was so much food.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, so, okay, so maybe...
Like, what do you want, 100 wings? I'm like, I don't know if we need that many.
Do that this Saturday.
Okay.
Then. And then we'll do Connor.
Yeah.
Connor's in 1 month?
The 26th of August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not even 1 month.
No, less than a month.
How do you think that's going to go?
I think it's going to go great. I'm rooting for Connor, but I think Mayweather's going to take it to him. I may go to distance, which would be really, really nice, and, you know...
I don't think it's going to go the distance.
You don't think so?
I think if Connor doesn't... Like, it's so hard because it's not MMA where, like...
It's different.
Like, anything could happen. Like,
Yeah.
like, MMA could be, like... You're still dealing with, like, random knockouts, random chokeouts, and there is true, like, chaos and spontaneity with MMA.
Mm-hmm.
But in boxing, like, you have, like, rules. You have these things designed so 2 guys are stood up in front of one another.
Yeah, it's so calculated.
Yeah, but McGregor does have an amateur boxing background. He's not completely out of his element. It's not like he's not used to the gloves, and he has the power to knock out Mayweather. And I just feel like if he doesn't catch him early, like kind of like what he does in his normal fights,
is it a full 12-round fight?
I'll have to check. I would say if it's a $90 pay-per-view, it better be a 27-round fight.
It's $100 for the HD one.
I can't believe that.
I know. Well, that's how much the last Mayweather fight was.
Yeah, but that was Pacquiao. That was like two masters. Even though like Pacquiao was a little bit like
that was such a trash fight though.
Nah, like that's how Mayweather fights though. Mayweather is the most, I would say, advanced like defensive fighter in boxing history.
Is there anything else on this card? Is it like I saw the fight card and it was just those two so far.
Ronda Rousey versus
20 robot
24 raccoons. Like, wait, what? How's that even work? Okay, yeah, we'll put that on.
27 raccoons. She choked out 23 of them and stomped 4 of them.
But that 24 one got through.
Yeah.
The 24th one got her.
She now needs rabies shots.
So did you go through the fight card for Saturday?
No,
dude,
it
Cyborg's
looks great.
fighting.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah,
you were pumped about that.
Yeah, because here's my position. So Nunes with the
did she
UFC
did she retain her belt last?
Yeah, because it was a no fight.
Oh, that's right. She didn't fight.
She didn't fight. I'm just going off of like memory here, but the UFC side said she was well enough to fight.
Yeah.
She says she can't.
No.
So it gets canceled. Dana White flips out. He says that she's never going to headline again. All these other things. This is after everyone like was kind of in like an uproar that she didn't headline or they didn't promote her well enough with Ronda Rousey because they're like she's openly gay. She's like the first openly gay combat champion ever. Like in any sport like this,
yeah.
They gave her no street credit. They gave her no promotion. It was all about Ronda.
She was a no name.
Yeah, but at that point though, like she beat the hell out of the second best female fighter ever, Miesha Tate.
Yeah.
So in this girl's last 2 fights, she beat technically the 2 top fighters.
Yeah.
She beat the living crap out of them.
Yeah.
So
she killed Tate.
Yeah. So
like that was a bad fight.
I think that girl looks like she punches like a dude.
Yeah.
Like she there's real weight to her like punches and movements. So they were like, hey, they kind of gave her her due. They're like, she got the headline, she got the pay-per-view poster, the matchup, all of it. And She doesn't go through with the fight, and I feel like she legitimately was like something happened.
Yeah.
Like I don't think she would like how would you back? Why would you ever back out? You know she's gonna kill the other girl. Okay, Dana White flips out. So now the women's division is what? Like you need Cyborg in there. Like they created a weight category just for her.
Mm-hmm.
Her next fight's probably going to be a title fight, but you need Cyborg to have like a strong showing to save the whole women's division because other than like your champion, there's no marketable champion. No one cares about that Jova Nichevich girl, the other one who is like unstoppable.
Yeah,
like that girl's
yeah.
a freaking like tank.
Yeah,
but
she's amazing.
But she's not like flipping heads. She's not flipping tickets. She's not like promoting.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you have? Like you have Cat Van Zant, who was from like Alpha Dog. That's what's his name? The California kid. What's his name? I forget the dude's name.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Ribo Faber.
Yeah, Araya Faber.
Araya Faber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Riboflavin.
Yeah. Riboflavin. Time to do some bad eats.
Yeah.
Riboflavin.
I think it's pronounced riboflavin, Pete.
Riboflavin. Okay. Yeah, so she comes from his camp.
Sugar.
Okay. And she has been slipping. So she was on the trajectory to take over that division. She's like lost a couple. So she's out, but she's like beautiful, right? Which always helps.
Mm.
So like, if you cobble it all together, Cyborg, it's all Cyborg, and that's what pumps me up because like everyone knows what's happening. Anyone that follows knows what's happening in that fight, and it's kind of like you can't say it though because you can't take away the credit from all the other fighters.
Yeah.
But we can say on Dream Warriors. Because this is episode 50, we can do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
We're pounding some PBRs.
I pounded mine.
Yeah, you already killed yours.
I'm done. I need something else.
That's what she said. But no, yeah. So, do anything to talk about on how we met now? Now that it's documented. Because if you remember Mike, do you remember Mike asked us that too?
Yeah, we
like
still don't. We still don't know how we started hanging out together.
I honestly,
I don't remember that story.
I honestly, like, I don't know the first thing we did together. I just know, like, at that point, I had your contact, and maybe we like had mutual like interest shit. Like, obviously,
yeah.
Like, and I remember like you were like at that time too. Like, I was acquiring a lot of stuff for like eBay, and you were like text me sometimes things like GameStop had like some of the exclusive figures.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe like that's how you and I started. Like having our own separate like line to like like thread to kind of bounce back and forth on.
Yeah,
I really don't like honestly. I just remember like you started having parties and we had like a high school graduation party at your place one time. And we invented bully boxing there and we beat the hell out of one another with no furniture.
Yeah,
that was so weird. With no furniture.
I was thinking of when Chris punched me in the stomach and I nearly threw up in my front yard.
You were on the front yard on your back,
gasping
while someone's parents came to pick him up.
Yeah,
we were like, "What is this? What is happening?"
I think there were a couple underage girls there.
I don't know.
It was.
I don't recall.
Let me take that back. I don't think there were underage girls there.
Yeah. Edit.
Yeah. I mean, they were over 18. That's all I know.
I don't even know. I don't even know what girls were there, but they were a
remember.
part of like I think of a circle at that point. Like we were all. I don't know. So I'm not really super familiar. And then I guess like once we connected, we kind of do concerts, right? We do we go to concerts. We do
UFCs. We do the bad eats. Yeah,
we have sex.
Yeah, well,
we share each other's fluids.
I was going to keep that on the DL, but
okay. We do not do that. We've never done that. Never thought about it. We will not be thinking about that later while we're alone. Crying, eating our flavored birthday cake donuts alone.
I'm so sad.
Why does it have to be like that? Why does it have to be like that?
Why did he take me back to the boiler room?
So real quick, what's Camera Girl doing? She working?
Yeah, she's working.
Okay, just checking. Just want to make sure. Will she be hanging out on Saturday?
I believe so. I'm not sure unless she's asleep because it's 10 o'clock at night. So
Wait, what?
the fight starts at 10.
So she sleeps at 10?
Yeah.
She always seems to be. She is like.
She's very sleepy.
She's always like about to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Even when we do bad eats, she's always like.
she is very.
I'm like,
sleepy.
Rachel, wake the fuck! Like, we're doing shit here.
she's got to be the sleepiest girl.
Rachel, Brian just had his dick out. Man. Where the hell were you?
Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah, wake up, man.
And she's very sleepy.
Yeah, she's a sleepy girl. Okay.
Yeah, she's
That's very nice. Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, anything? I think we can wrap this up. Right. Like, so how you feel? Like, are you you want to come back? You happy with this?
Yeah.
Because now
it was fun.
I feel like now this is like a superhero franchise. Like, we got the origin out of the way. So
that was an origin story.
Yeah. So the next movie can just be like a straight up like action adventure, and we don't have to go through like your parents being murdered and me being bitten by a radioactive spider.
I feel like this was like Unbreakable.
Yeah.
It was very slow. But it told a good story.
Yeah, and you're currently in a raincoat right now. He just puts that on during the podcast, just like Unbreakable.
Yeah, I was like, well, I should probably put on a raincoat.
Yeah,
I don't want to get a cold,
Right, and it's raining outside.
Yeah.
So
wait a minute, I've never been sick.
Let's be safe. Let's be safe. But no, I think this was a good time. I'd like to change a pace from the regular grind of the podcast, which is, oh man, it's daunting to go into detail with some of these movies all the time. If you actually listen, like if you want to, you can listen to any of those. No one's stopping you. No one's stopping you.
It's daunting to listen to. Don't listen to my podcast, but please listen to them.
Yeah, it's daunting to record and it's really hard to listen to. All right, well let's sign off unless you got any parting words.
No, I mean we have our YouTube show.
Subscribe
Eats.
to Bad Eats.
Yeah, subscribe to it. It's a good show.
Just search Bad Eats.
It's not nearly
right up.
It's not nearly as long as this show.
It's not as drawn out and boring as Dream Warriors.
It's not daunting to watch.
No.
And I laugh a lot.
We do. That's because we have a good time.
Yeah, we do.
We have a good time. There's usually a good amount of alcohol involved with Dream Warriors. Like sometimes when I'm editing the footage, I'm like,
we drink
like,
a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
And then like I'll know.
It never really hits me until the end.
Yeah. Well, you know, like the one if you listen, like if you so if you do want to like listen to Dream Warriors, so one of the things we do is we'll record like inside of a car on the way to a movie, and we'll record when we're done with the movie. So a lot of times, like I'll crack open the laptop and we'll just record through like the onboard microphones, like on the laptop, and audio like is give and take. But we drink kind of like the Mummy now all the time, which is what we did on Bad Eats, which is the grape soda tequila. Mm-hmm. I call it the Mummy because my friend and I went to go see the Mummy, and that's all I had here.
That's grape soda.
It's grape soda and the cheapest tequila you can find.
The silver tequila.
Yeah, there's at least like 4 episodes of Bad Eats now where I'm drinking the Mummy. Not Bad Eats, Dream Warriors. Yeah, because I'll talk about it like in the car on the way there, and I'm like, I got me a Mummy, and it's.
Oh, so I never told you my movie theater and the alcohol story.
Oh, okay. Tell me that. Oh, yes.
Yeah. In my youth, well, when I was old enough to buy alcohol, we would still go to the movies, and
no one goes to the movies now.
No one goes to the movies anymore.
So like, kind of before you get into that, can I ask you about that real quick?
Sure.
Because this is one of my observations during Planet of the Apes, which is The War of the Planet of the Apes was like an amazing movie.
Yeah, I need to see that movie.
But box office wise, it doesn't even compare to like the one that people hate with Mark Wahlberg. Like the Mark Wahlberg one just kills, and it's kind of like you're like, wow, like everyone loves War of the Planet of the Apes, but no one's going to see it? Question mark. Like how's that even possible? And it's because there was like no desire to go to the movies anymore.
Why would you?
Right. So like you come from that mindset where a lot of people might. That mindset's like a mystery to them because a lot of people that listen to this stuff are like the hardcore geeks.
Yeah.
So they're like, you can't miss it. Like, you need sound and like what about the pictures of the IMAX? Like, and you're like,
I don't like the crowds. Like, I really like. I like the movie theaters now with the reclining seats and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I really,
and but they're tougher to get into.
Yeah.
You gotta get those tickets early.
Yeah.
You gotta plan ahead.
And I have all that at home. You know, my screen's not nearly as big as a movie theater. But, you know, I get I can pause it, I can get up, I can do that. Maybe I'm just being an old crotchety man, but, like, they're the things I like to do. Like, and, like, there hasn't been a movie where I'm like, I need to go see that in the theater.
So can we dissect that real quick?
Yeah.
Like what? So where's that coming from? It's not coming from subject matter, right? Because there's things you're interested in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I love all the comic book movies I'm into, and I like watching them.
So it comes from you don't value the experience of going to the movie.
No, $15 to see a movie, like, it just doesn't grab me anymore.
Yeah. And it's, dude, like Mark and I think you may have met Mark.
Yeah, I did.
No, Speedy Mark. There's Speedy Mark that talks like brrr, and then there's Business Mark.
Business Mark. I think I met him.
Okay, you did meet. Okay,
so he was the one we did.
Oh yeah, we did
the commentary.
Yeah, we did one of the commentaries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Business Mark, we go see Baby Driver because we wanted to, like, that movie got lots of hype.
Yeah.
We're like, let's go see it.
Yeah, I heard it's amazing.
And I'm like, we'll go like record and we'll do a show, and which is great motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, get this theater, like get this showtime.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told the girl, I'm like, yeah, like 7:30 or whatever. Dude, it was like a $23 ticket because it's called like RPX,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like the special sound with the IMAX. And I'm almost like, yo, dude, never do that again. I'm like, that is way too much. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, and I'm like, oh God, no. We only do normal screens. You just do normal, but it is like, it's a lot, dude. Like,
yeah,
$23
to see a movie.
And think about the people that really don't care and they just want to see a movie and they get caught like that.
Yeah,
I would be pissed.
But think about like how much time it takes to make. Like, okay, say the average person makes, you know, what's what's minimum wage now? $7, $7.50.
Might be $7.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, say the average person makes $10 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're charging $23 to go see a movie. That's more than they're making to go see that movie. Like putting out $23, they're making $10 an hour. Say the movie's an hour and a half long or 2 hours long. You're spending more than more that you made. It took you longer to make that money than you're getting out of that movie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're working like 2 hours just to watch a movie.
You're working over 2 hours because taxes.
Right.
We got to add that in.
Yeah.
If it's $23, you're going to get a soda. Come on, man.
Yeah,
you're not going to go.
So now, maybe you're working 3 to 4 hours to watch a movie.
Even if you don't get a soda at the theater, you're still gonna smuggle something in.
It's one half of an 8-hour shift.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To watch a fucking movie.
Right. So
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. So,
and that's where I'm at. Like, you know.
I do not. I will never say that to anyone ever again. That you have to see this inside of a theater.
Yeah.
Unless if it's really something that like
and
completely blows me away.
I thank God for the hardcore geeks because that's what my business is based off of. and
your
black
gay
slither.
porn business.
My gay
no,
no,
I thought you
no.
meant your gay.
No,
your,
not my gay porn.
Your
You don't
cam business.
Yeah, you don't have to watch that in the theater. The gay porn.
Well, it's
And
called what's that one series you did called Bringes? It's called Beaches, Beaches and the Sons or is it Beaches and the Stooges?
Yeah, Beaches and the Stooges.
Beaches and the Stooges.
So, but that's like, you know, I thank them for being a part of my business, and you know, and they're what's driving the movie industry right now.
Yeah.
Because that's why they're gearing all of those comic book movies.
Yeah.
That's why they're driving all those comic book
I'll-
movies.
I'll
Is because that they know where the money is.
I'll say this: when you drill down into the numbers, it doesn't look like it's enough. It's
No,
gonna
it's
hold up
not.
for much longer.
No, and that's why everybody's going to Netflix.
Yeah.
And you know, they're quality movies on there.
Yeah.
Besides the Adam Sandler movies, there's
No,
quality films
Dude,
on there.
Brad Pitt has a Netflix movie,
Yeah.
and Will Smith has one coming up called Bright.
Yeah.
Where he's like a cop with a goblin. It's like a cop goblin movie, and the goblin's like his partner as a cop.
Nice.
Like what? I'm not even sure what this is, but I'm watching the hell out of it.
I hope it's like Theodore Rex.
You can't beat Theodore Rex. You can't beat that. So real quick, tell me about your theater.
Oh yeah,
alcohol
my
story.
theater alcohol story. Now it's not nearly as funny as what we were just talking about. But anyway, so we're there.
Well, it's a good thing to sign off on.
Yeah, and me and my friend, we buy 2 cherry cokes, and we have this bottle of SoCo. And it's a round bottle of SoCo.
Oh, jeez.
And we're sitting in the back.
But they're not even round anymore.
No,
right?
no, this is old. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so it's a round bottle of SoCo.
Why is it if you grew up in South Jersey where we grew up, SoCo was like
That's your drink
thing, and it was like SoCo and Mad Dog.
Yeah. Oh, I love Mad Dog.
And Mad Dog, I had no idea.
Mad Dog was in the shape of a flask. The bottle.
Yeah.
The bottle was in the shape of a flask, so you could you could put it on your hip.
And it's also like at the bottom shelf in any liquor store. It's like the bottom shelf.
But it had the greatest flavors.
Yeah, you got it's
Cherry's Jubilee.
Yeah. Well, dude, you know what I buy? I buy for the flavoring. I buy 99 like bananas or 99 peaches.
That's just as good as
Dude,
Mad Dog.
I was there's this energy drink called Highball, and I like it because it's close to 8-Ball.
Yeah.
And they have this a black cherry flavor.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
It's actually really good. It's actually a like pound for pound ingredient. Like we probably couldn't do it for Bad Eats because it's actually like pretty decent
Because it's good.
like ingredient wise. But it's sold in Whole Foods, but it's also sold in like some CVS's. But they have a black cherry, and for whatever reason, I don't know what the heck was happening, but I don't know. I dumped 99 peaches into one of those one night and started drinking it, and it was so freaking good.
I love those accidents.
It's like it was like the weirdest combination, and I'm just like, I don't know. It was peaches and cherries, and I don't know. Like, but dude, and it messes you up, dude, because 99 peaches is like that comes in round. It's like Mad Dog. It comes in round housing. Like you're ducking before you even sip it.
So
Yeah.
we're pouring the we drink about, I guess, a quarter of our cherry cokes, and
I love it.
yeah, and we dump probably a half a bottle each into our cherry coke, and the bottle's sitting there for a while. I forget which movie it is. This was the Atco Theater. Remember that?
Dude,
the
the
Atco
Theater. Yeah. So the Atco Theater got knocked down because they wanted to build a Target.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
And the county doesn't want any franchises. So they did all this work, and the county's like, no. So now it's just like an empty lot. But the Atco Theater was like the bomb.
Yeah, that place was awesome. That was amazing.
That was like the first multiplex in South Jersey.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah, and it had like all the arcades. And then like as it was dying off, the arcades were less and less.
Yeah.
Which is always a sign.
They started doing like on Tuesdays you could go there for like $2.
That ain't helping.
No, nothing helped that.
Like, how many people do we need on the Tuesday? 200. No, we got 5. Yeah. We got 7 people.
So it's me and my friend and like a couple other people in this theater. and it's a quiet part of the movie. Like I said, I forget which movie it was, but it was like you just hear it go. You hear the bottle hit the ground because it got kicked over.
Yes.
And then it slowly rolls.
Yeah.
But it's hitting things on the way down, like little struts, like little bolts and stuff.
That's what happens.
You hear tink, tink, tink,
that's what happens when we lost our bottle of port.
It's a human game of Plinko at this point.
Yeah.
And it gets all the way down. You hear it hit the front of the theater.
Nice.
and the two of us, hee, and just just drinking our cherry cokes with SoCo.
That's always a danger.
I don't know how we got home.
Well, we did that, and I think it might have been during Green Lantern. That's where we had the trouble with the beer bottles, because we were actually sticking them behind the seat, where there was like a little bit of like, there was like a step, but it was like a slot.
Yeah.
And somehow, like, that filled up. And we knocked, like, once we knocked one over, dude, it was like, and then, like, maybe, like, 2 or 3 of them just started all going. People are, like, looking. Because the theater was, like, packed.
Yeah.
It was, like, opening night for Green Lantern. Like, Ryan Reynolds is a superhero. Like, we gotta go see this. Dude, people are, like, looking back at us. And we're like... So when it looked
Do you start looking back?
Yeah. But we were, like... I remember this so well. We were second to the back row. So it's almost like we're looking at the people that know what we did. Because, like, when you're in the back row, you do know what the people in front of you did.
Yeah.
It's different when you're, like, in the middle.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more. But, and dude, and I remember, like, there was, I think when we saw Your Highness, Chris kept yelling at the screen at Natalie Portman. I guess he fell in love with her during the movie. And then there was, like, a couple there. And I don't know why. But I think I whispered to him that it's like Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love. And so during the movie, we kept calling him Courtney and Kurt. But there were like 1 or 2 people away from us. And we were like, Courtney and Kurt! Don't kill him! He just wants to write music! Like, dude, we were like, we get unruly. But yeah. Let's sign off. We'll have you back. And then we'll be back with Bad Eats. The next Bad Eats episode 10 is our next release.
Yes.
And then
I'm excited for that one.
And then
10 pizzas.
Yeah. Which we had a lot of trouble shooting too.
Yeah, that was
a tough night. Yeah. But yeah, like this is one of the things too. I would love to have you back, and maybe we would kind of talk about some of the episodes and kind of like just go through like some of this, because we have a lot of adversity. Shooting alone, and I'm sure you could even add some insight to what you go through. Because I don't like you show up to shoot. And some days I don't even know what your day's like. Like love to talk about some of that stuff. Like talk about like if you're in a good mood, if you're not in a good mood, just to add that like extra layer of like commentary.
Yeah, we should do commentaries on the episodes.
That's one of our additional things. I would like to do the deluxe episodes, which are like the uncut ones, or maximum on like cut, meaning like we cut out even more, and do commentaries on top of that. I mean that's definitely a part of it. So, all right, signing off, everyone. Have a good night, and Black Slither Games.
Yeah, check them out
on Kickstarter.
Not yet.
Well, yeah.
We don't have anything yet on Kickstarter.
Not yet.
Something is coming.
Right, that's what she said.
Something big is coming.
That's what she said.
She said that too.
There you go.